In a quiet little town surrounded by tall green hills, lived a boy named Daniel Miller. Daniel was like any other child. He loved playing football with his friends, chasing butterflies in the fields and lying on the grass to watch the clouds drift lazily across the sky. That small world made him happy. But there was one thing that never made Daniel happy: his studies. No matter how hard he tried, he could never remember his lessons. Numbers confused him, history dates slipped out of his memory, and grammar rules felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. His classmates often laughed at his mistakes, and slowly, Daniel began to believe that maybe he wasn't smart enough. With each passing day, his confidence faded. One afternoon, after the final school bell rang and the students rushed out, Daniel noticed his teacher, Mr. Whitman, sitting alone in the classroom, checking some papers. Daniel hesitated, his heart beating fast, but then he gathered his courage and walked slowly toward him. "Sir," he said softly, "can I talk to you for a moment?" Mr. Whitman looked up, adjusted his glasses, and smiled kindly. "Of course, Daniel, sit down. What's troubling you?" Daniel sat on the front bench and kept quiet for a while. Then he finally spoke. "Sir, I don't think I'm good at studying. I try, but I can't focus. I forget things, and sometimes I feel hopeless. Please, can you guide me?" Hey, Mr. Whitman listened patiently and nodded. "Daniel, do you know something? Many students feel exactly like you at some point. But the difference between those who improve and those who give up is simple: they choose to change. If you truly want to learn, you can. Let me share with you 5 lessons that changed my own life when I was a student." Daniel leaned forward, curious. Mr. Whitman picked up a glass jar filled with muddy water from his desk. "First lesson," he said, "calm your mind. Tell me, what do you see?" Daniel squinted. "Dirty water, sir?" "Exactly. Now let's leave it aside for a while." They waited as the dirt slowly sank to the bottom. Leaving the water clear, Mr. Whitman pointed and said, "See this? Our mind is the same. When it's filled with stress and scattered thoughts, it's like muddy water. But if we calm down, everything becomes clear. Before you study, close your eyes for a few minutes, breathe deeply, and let your mind settle. Then you'll think and learn better." Daniel nodded thoughtfully. For the second lesson, Mr. Whitman lit a candle on the desk. The flame danced gently. "Now, just look at this flame," he instructed. Daniel tried, but his thoughts kept running about football, about exams, about his friends. After a few tries, though, he managed to keep his eyes and mind fixed on the flame. Mr. Whitman smiled. "This is focus on the present. Most of us are trapped in the past or worried about the future. But the only thing we truly have is this moment. When your mind drifts during study, gently bring it back. With practice, your focus will grow stronger." Daniel felt a spark of hope in his chest. The teacher then brought out a sponge and a stone. He poured water over both. Sponge absorbed it easily, while the stone stayed dry. "This is the third lesson," Mr. Whitman explained. "Some students just memorize blindly, like the stone. Nothing stays. But students who try to understand and connect knowledge with examples are like the sponge, absorb learning deeply. So instead of cramming, always try to understand." Daniel touched the sponge and whispered, "I want to be like this." "Good," Mr. Whitman said warmly. For the fourth lesson, Mr. Whitman placed a large wooden block in front of Daniel. "Break it," he said. Daniel tried with all his strength, but the block didn't budge. Then the teacher split it into smaller pieces. Daniel broke them easily. "Learning is the same," said Mr. Whitman. "Big topics look scary, but if you break them into small parts and learn step by step, you'll manage. Study a little every day, rest, and then continue. It's how knowledge builds." Daniel smiled for the first time that day. Finally, Mr. Whitman brought 2 small pots. He planted seeds in both, but he watered only one. After a few days, the watered seeds sprouted, while the other stayed lifeless. This is the 5th lesson: practice every day. If you give even 20 minutes daily, you'll see results. But if you skip often, your progress will die like that dry seed. Daniel listened carefully, his heart filling with courage. Over the next few months, Daniel followed his teacher's advice faithfully. At first, it was difficult. Sitting quietly for even 5 minutes felt impossible. But slowly, he found that his mind calmed down faster. His focus improved, and studying became less scary. He began to enjoy subjects he once hated. His grades started to climb. More importantly, Daniel no longer feared failure. Years passed. Daniel grew into a confident young man. With his steady habits, he excelled not only in school, but also in life. Eventually, he became a successful engineer, respected in his community for his discipline and wisdom. Whenever he looked back, he always remembered that afternoon in the classroom. The day his teacher lit a candle, poured water on a sponge, and taught him that true success doesn't come from being the smartest, but from using time wisely, focusing on the present, and practicing every day. And just like Daniel, anyone can change. Whether it's studying, working, or building your dreams, calm your mind, take small steps, and keep practicing. One day, your little efforts will turn into a life you once thought was impossible. So if you feel this story can inspire others, share it with them. And remember, the biggest gift you can give yourself is to respect your own efforts and never give up.